Hey everyone and welcome to the club. Today I'm going to be showing you how to draw Silver the Hedgehog. Now we're going to get started in the center of our page with the upper eyelid. So we move over to the left side, we're going to draw a curve that comes in and then down. Now we're going to leave a gap and do the same thing on the right. So lining up the inside, curving up, and then out. Let's connect these 2 points with a curve, coming down the middle, and then back up on the right side. Now we're going to tuck 2 ovals underneath the eyelid. So on the left side, start at the very top, curve down, round at the bottom, and then pull that back up. Let's do the same thing on the right. Curving down to the same height, and then up underneath the eyelid. Now I'm going to add 2 smaller ovals on the inside, and we're going to fill those in black. Now we're going to draw on the bottom edge of the eye. Starting from the left side, we're going to curve down. I'm going to round out the bottom of the eye and then come up towards the middle. Come up to right about there. Let's do the same thing on the right. Curving down, rounding out the bottom of the eye, and then I'm just going to pull that up and in. Let's connect those 2 points with a slight curve going up the middle and down on the right. We're going to add a thick black trim on the outside. Starting from the top corner on the left, I'm going to step in, and we're going to taper this down, coming down and blending towards the bottom of the eye. Do the same thing on the right side, and then we'll fill those areas in black. Now right below the center curve, I'm going to add a circle for the nose, and we're going to fill that in black. Now let's draw on the bottom part of the head. Starting on the left side of the face, start by curving out, rounding it out, and then coming down towards the chin. And I'm going to work my way back up towards the right side, going up, and then tucking that in behind the eye. And then from here, we're going to move over towards the left side. We're going to add a curve for the mouth. Starting at the outside of the mouth, we're going to curve in, and then pull that down. Now let's draw the 2 spikes on the side of the head. Starting from the top corner of the eye, I'm going to start by going out and curving that up towards the tip. Go out and curving that up. Do the same thing on the right. Start by going straight out. Now we're going to curve that up towards the tip. And then from the ends, I'm going to curve up and then down in towards the head. So start on the left, we're going to curve up. Now curve it down and then into right about there. Now we're going to add another set of spikes pointing up and out. So we'll start on the left side. We're going to start by going up with a straight angled line and then curving that up towards the tip. Do the same thing on the right. Start by going straight up and then we'll bend that up towards the same height. Now we're going to curve this back in the opposite direction towards the head. Starting on the left, we're going to curve in, round this out. I'm just going to pull that down to right about there. Now let's add in that center spike. Starting from the top left, we're just going to curve this out slightly and then pull that in towards the center. Let's go in the opposite direction on the right. Curving out, rounding out the side, and then down towards the bottom on the right. Now in between these 2 spikes, we're going to see the tip of the ear. So starting on the outside edge, we're going to draw a straight line going out, then angled down and then in. Let's line this up on the right side. We go out with a straight line, angle down and in. Now I just want to trace this out on the inside. So I'm leaving a small gap in between. Let's move down and draw on the collar. We're going to start on the left side of the head. Start by curving down and in towards the middle. Now at the bottom, I'm just going to point it down in the center. Let's take that and flip it over on the right. Starting from the center point, we're going to curve up, then out, round out the side, and then tuck that in behind the face. Now let's draw on the side of the body. On the left side, I'm going to step down, curve out, and then just pull that in. Take that and flip it over on the right. So line this up, curve out, and then pull that in. Now we're going to draw on the side of the leg. Starting on the left, we're going to curve out, and then down. Do the Same thing on the right side. Now let's round out the bottom of the leg. From the left, we're going to curve down and up with a short curve on both sides. Now I'm going to follow that same curve of the leg coming up towards the lower torso. We're just going to pull that up to right about there. Do the same thing on the right. So we're just going to leave a gap in between the legs. Now we're going to close off the bottom with a straight line. Now we're going to add the top edge of the boot cuff. We're going to draw an oval in behind the leg. So from the outside point, we're going to step up, go out, round out the side, come to the inside, and then back in towards the inside of the leg. Do the same thing on the right. Rounding up the side, come down the middle, and then back up on the right. From the side of the oval, we're going to draw two straight lines coming down. One on the left, one on the right. We'll close off the bottom with a curve. Do the same thing on the right. Come down the sides. And then from the left side, we're going to curve down and then back up. Now we're just going to add a trim on the inside of the cuff. Starting from the bottom corner, we're going to step up. We're going to follow the same curve coming across. Now we're going to angle up and in. And we'll follow that same curve again going towards the inside of the cuff. Now I'm going to step up and just trace that along the top, leaving an even space and gap. Let's do the same thing on the right. Starting from the bottom corner, we're going to step up, curve in. I'm going to angle up and in. And then we'll curve across towards the inside of the leg. Now we're going to step up and just trace that out, leaving an even space strip across the middle. Now we're going to tuck the boots in underneath the cuff. From the inside corner, we're going to step out, curve in, and then down towards the heel on both sides. And then from the heel, I'm going to draw a short line going out. And then we'll go up with a very short line. Now I'm going to curve down and out towards the toe. So on the left side, we're going to curve down and then back up towards the toe. Now back on the left side, from the toe, I'm going to draw a short line going up. Now I'm going to curve across and then up towards the inside of the leg. I'm just going to follow that same curve and go up. Do the same thing on the right. Just square off the toe, curve down. Now I'm just going to pull that up towards the heel. Now let's add in the toe cap. From the tip of the foot, curve up, and then down on top of the sole. Do the same thing on the right. It's like drawing a half circle, going around and then down. Now let's draw on the top of the foot. From the outside bottom corner of the cuff, we're going to step in. We'll curve out and down on top of the foot. Now we're just going to add a trim on the top of the foot. We're going to take this curve, step in, just duplicate that in underneath the cuff. Do the same thing on the right side. Now let's move back up and draw on the arms. From the side of the body, we're going to step up underneath the collar, angle down and out towards the elbow. And then from the elbow, we're going to go straight out with a short line. Now let's overlap the cuff. On top of the forearm, I'm going to step up, draw a straight line coming down. And then from the ends, we're going to go out with a short line. And then we'll close off the end with a straight line. Let's do the same thing over on the right. From the arm, we're going to step up, draw a straight line coming down. We're just going to line this up, go out with a short line, and then close off the outside with a line. We're going to add a strip on the inside of each cuff. So in the center, we're going to draw two straight lines coming down, side by side. Now let's draw on the bottom of the arm. From the bottom corner of the cuff, we're going to step up, draw a straight line coming in, and we're going to angle up in behind the body. Let's do the same thing on the right. We're going to line this up, come in, then we'll angle up underneath the body. Now we're going to go back to the left side and draw on the fist. We start from the outside corner of the cuff, we're going to curve up, come down. Now we're going to round out the thumb, and then just pull that back up. Let's stack 3 fingers in behind the thumb. We start on the side with a half oval, going out and then pulling that back in. Let's add another finger. At the bottom here, we're going to curve out, round it out, and then tuck this in underneath the thumb. We'll do that one more time. Curving around, and then up underneath the second finger. Let's do the same thing on the right side. Starting from the corner of the cuff, we're gonna go up, down, round out the thumb, and then pull that up. Let's add the first finger. Add the first half oval. Now at the bottom of the finger, we're gonna go around again and tuck this in underneath the thumb. Do that one more time. Now we'll close off the bottom of the hand, starting from the bottom of this finger, curve down and up towards the bottom corner of the cuff. Now we just want to add a ring on the inside of the palm. Starting underneath the thumb, it's like drawing a half circle, and we'll step in and draw a smaller half circle, leaving a little trim on the inside. Let's do the same thing on the right. Starting underneath the thumb, step in, and draw a smaller half circle. Now we're going to add 2 spikes curving down in behind the hands. So from the head, we're going to step out underneath this spike, curve out, and then down in behind the thumb. We'll do the same thing on the right side, curving out and then down. Now we're going to move in. I just want to taper this in behind the face. Starting right at the cuff, curve up and then in. Now the last thing I'm going to do is add the tail over on the left side. So from the hip, I'm going to step up, curve down, and then out. And I'll taper that back in behind the leg. And that's pretty much it. There we have it. There's Silver the Hedgehog. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Make sure you subscribe and send me your requests in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.